you, you're kind of like both in the eye of a increasingly horrible storm.
Torrid storm, right?
Yeah. You know, what's going to be happening with both of your characters as you sort of brave this storm, you know, this contention?
I love that analogy.
We're gonna scar each other. We're gonna then try to band-aid the scars on each other. We're gonna try to hold on to each other for dear life. We're gonna try to figure out, I'm gonna try to think as an attorney would, which is what Angela, you know, what Lela plays. She plays an attorney, and she's gonna try to think as criminally minded as she can because this guy that she loves is a criminal. So we are one big, but being torn at the same time, you know.
And I guess the question is, how does the relationship change? Does it fall apart? How does it sort of navigate those murky waters of having more knowledge, of then having doubt, of then how that discovery changes you, how it changes your relationship, love, and the consequences of your decisions. You know, Angela next season really has to suffer through the consequences of, you know, doing illegal things in her job that gets someone killed, to the consequences of becoming a mistress, to the consequences of her ambition of being relentless in figuring out who this distributor is.
Yes, what she said.
So now my next question is for you. It's interesting, the conflict. It seems that your character is inherently conflicted from last season to this season, and also there's a big issue of not being able to let things go, whether it's the women in your life, you know, the character's gangsta ways. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure, I think it's, first of all, another good question. You know, I think at the foundation of arrogance and narcissism is a high addictive nature to being liked. Lela and I were speaking yesterday, and we were talking about, you know, a person, and it more so strikes men, you know, a person's desire to be so liked that they pull out all the smells and looks of charm to make sure that remains. And so it's not weird or odd that when you see these A&E stories on these incredible drug lords that we've all known historically that truly exist, that one of the things the cops, when interviewed, always speak about is how charming these men were, that they would have loved to sit down and have a beer with these killers. And I think for Ghost, it's no different. I think that he's got a hard time letting go and is sort of a figurative pat rat of hearts. You know, he's a pack rat of hearts because at the end of the day, a man like him is lonely, and he's trying to figure out how to get back to his Tommy of sorts, because those are the moments of non-loneliness when you're 12 years old with your best friend. His kids make him feel, you know, something of worth. But outside of that, Angela and Tasha included, he's kind of lonely because he doesn't know if he can be himself fully with either one of them. He feels that Angela signed up for his full self, but at the same time, has she? Because she doesn't know I'm a drug dealer. So he's lonely, but yet he wants to be liked so much that he's not letting go of any of these things that make him feel not lonely, which is arrogant and selfish.
Well, I just realized there's this, and it's kind of pun intended, there's this like Buddhist term, it's called in the realm of hungry ghosts. And it's a ghost, it's this idea of like these creatures with these skinny necks and these large bellies, so they can never get full, no matter how much they put in. He can never, because he can never fill the emptiness.
She just gave you something there, boy.
So it's like Ghost is constantly trying to fill that emptiness
his name too.
With the sort of idealization of romance and love, with status, with wealth, with all of these things, and yet there's this still cavernous hole.
I think that's why he's rooted for. Is that if you want to or have an addictive nature to wanting to be liked, then you can't be that bad. Question mark, ... ellipses, question mark.
Iago?
Yeah, that too. So it's hard to not root for somebody that initially wanted to be liked as a kid and innately wants to be liked as a grown man, because it just means that he has a capacity to like you and to love you properly. The show is about him not figuring out how to do that.